Good evening and welcome to Kenya News Update today. I'm your host, and we're diving deep into a major policy shift that could reshape Kenya's roads and its environmental future. Tonight, Kenya's bold new push for electric mobility, symbolized by a simple but powerful change: green number plates. But as we'll explore, this green revolution faces significant hurdles, from affordability to infrastructure, and it's unfolding against a backdrop of other pressing national issues. We'll examine the policy, the politics, and the practical realities for Kenyans. Let's begin. Our top story: the distinctive white, yellow, and black number plates on Kenyan vehicles are getting a new, eco-friendly sibling. Transport Cabinet Secretary Davis Cheer this week announced the immediate rollout of green number plates for all electric vehicles. The launch happened at the Kenyatta International Convention Center alongside the official unveiling of the National Electric Mobility Policy. Cheer stated the plates will serve as the official identification for EVs, a visible badge of the government's intensified efforts to promote e-mobility and encourage a shift away from petrol and diesel. Proponents hail this as a critical step. The visual cue of a green plate, they argue, isn't just administrative. It's a symbol of status, a conversation starter, and a potential trigger for wider public acceptance. It signals to other drivers, to pedestrians, and to the world that Kenya is serious about cutting transport emissions, which account for a significant portion of the country's greenhouse gases. The policy envisions incentives for these green-plated vehicles, such as access to special parking, potential lane privileges, and exemptions from certain traffic restrictions during peak pollution hours. The goal is clear: make EVs not just an alternative, but an attractive, privileged choice. But let's look at the current landscape. The adoption of electric vehicles in Kenya, while growing, starts from a very low base. To understand the scale of the challenge, consider the numbers. As of the end of last year, official data from the National Transport and Safety Authority showed there were approximately 3.2 million registered motor vehicles in Kenya. Out of that massive fleet, how many were fully electric? The figure is startlingly small. Estimates suggest there are only about 1,500 fully electric vehicles on Kenyan roads today. That represents a mere fraction of 1% of the total vehicle population. The government's target is ambitious. They aim to have at least 5% of all newly registered vehicles be electric by 2030. To get from 1,500 to a meaningful percentage of millions, the climb is steep. The green plates are a branding exercise for a product that is, for now, out of reach for the vast majority of Kenyans. The average price of a new electric car in Kenya remains prohibitively high, often double or triple the cost of a comparable petrol model, even before considering the cost of installing a home charging unit. This brings us to the first major debate: infrastructure versus symbolism. Proponents of the green plate policy, including many in the Ministry of Transport and environmental lobbies, argue that you have to start somewhere. Creating a distinct identity for EVs, they say, is a prerequisite for building public awareness and a supportive ecosystem. It allows for targeted policies and makes EVs easily identifiable for benefits or for data collection. The CEO of the Kenya Electric Vehicle Association put it this way: the green plate is the seed. It marks the vehicle as part of the solution. Now we must water that seed with charging stations, with affordable financing, and with reliable electricity. The counter-argument, often heard from economists and consumer advocates, is that the government is putting the plate before the car. They point to the glaring lack of public charging infrastructure. Nairobi has only a few dozen public charging points, mostly clustered in affluent neighborhoods and shopping malls. Outside the capital, they are virtually non-existent. A green plate won't charge your battery on the road to Mombasa, one critic noted. We are creating a two-tier system: green plates for the wealthy in cities and everyone else stuck with fossil fuels. The priority should be massive investment in a national charging grid and substantial tax breaks to bring down the upfront cost of the vehicles themselves. This debate over priorities is mirrored in another critical sector: education. While the government pushes a high-tech, green automotive future, the foundation for training the technicians who will build and maintain that future is showing alarming cracks. It has now emerged that fees at public technical and vocational education and training institutions, our TVETs, have nearly doubled over the last year. Where a diploma course might have cost around 55,000 shillings annually, it's now spiked to 105,000 shillings. This sharp increase is triggering low enrollment and rising dropout rates in these vital colleges. Astonishingly, technical colleges have become more expensive than many public universities. This creates a dangerous paradox. The green mobility revolution will need thousands of trained electricians, battery specialists, and high voltage technicians. These are the very skills TVETs are meant to provide. Yet, by pricing out students, we are strangling the pipeline of talent before the industry even takes off. A tutor from a national polytechnic warned us, we are seeing classrooms that were full now half empty. Students are choosing cheaper, theory-based university degrees over hands-on technical training because they can't afford us. How will we service these green-plated cars of the future if we have no one trained to lift the bonnet? The fee hike, attributed to reduced government capitation and rising operational costs, threatens to undermine not just e-mobility, but Kenya's entire industrial development agenda. Let's visualize this educational squeeze. The fee increase is not marginal. It's a dramatic leap that changes the calculus for aspiring technicians and their families.